What a great week. Excited to play in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, 6:30 Central Standard Time. We're excited about Tell the Truth Monday, about the process, about talking about preseason game number 3, which was fantastic. It was a mock game. We split the teams up. Our coaches did a tremendous job of organization. We went through every scenario we could imagine. We was in pregame. We had a locker room stretch with Tommy Moffitt. We had a pregame warm-up. We went in at halftime, made our adjustments, came out. Our guys did a tremendous job. They're ready to go. They're ready to attack the week and go through the process. And we are playing a very good Georgia Southern team, a tough, hard-nosed football team that won 10 games last year. They plus 22 in the turnover margin. That's elite. That's number 1 in the country. It's a phenomenal stat. And this is a well-coached football team. I want to talk about the offense a little bit. They're a triple option. We worked a lot last week. We had a bonus week. Thank God we did. We got a little jump on them, and our guys are still working on the game plan on the triple option. It's going to pose problems for us. We got to be in the right place, tackle the dive, tackle the quarterback, tackle the pitch. If you make a mistake, it could be a big play. They returned 5 starters. They averaged 30 points per game, 266 yards rushing, 79 passing. Their quarterback, Wirtz, is their top player, dual threat quarterback. He is very, very dangerous. He knows how to operate in this offense. He's a great runner. He's a good passer. 2 good running backs, Logan Wright, number 2, and Wesley Kennedy, number 12. Wesley's very talented. He's fast. He can get on the edge, take the pitch, and go to the house. Their offensive line is tough and physical. On defense, they're a 3-4 team. They returned 7 starters. Only gave up 21 points per game, 357 yards. They're very stout. They play fundamentals. They don't blitz a lot. They got a good, hard-nosed defensive line led by number 92, Raymond Johnson, and number 96, Ty Phillips. The best player on their team is Kendall Viter. He was all-conference, Sunbelt Conference, Defensive Player of the Year. This guy's a pro football player. On special teams, punt coverage, 5.3 yards per return, 24th in the country. They're very solid across the board in kickoffs. Wesley's a kickoff returner. He's very, very dangerous, 22 yards per return. This week is going to be about the LSU Tigers. We're focusing on the fundamentals, focusing on getting game ready, ongoing skill development on a daily process. Our coaches are ready to go. Recruiting is going to rev up again. We have a lot of recruits at our game this week. We're going to start recruiting 2021 class hard. On Sunday is the first day we can call 2020. We can text 2021, so we got a lot of work to do this week. But we're excited. It was the first day of school. Last Thursday night, we had a practice underneath the lights, so our returners could catch underneath the lights, receivers can catch under the light. And the Golden Band from Tigerland came in and played for us. They played for about 40 minutes, and I want to thank them. It made it game-like. You can see our guys were fired up, ready to go. Any questions?
Ed, I guess just what's the kind of unique challenge of facing a triple option team in week 1, and what kind of look has John Trey Kirkland gave you?
Yeah, John Trey, like I said before, has been the MVP of the week. He's done a tremendous job. The speed of the game, they're going to come out all fired up, and we're going to have to adjust to the speed of the game. They'll have something new, some nuance that we're going to have to get on the sideline. We're well equipped with our coaching staff to fix it. The biggest thing is we watch some games on TV is tackling. No, we got to tackle. We got to tackle in the open space. We got to be in the right place. We got to get hats to the ball, and we got to call some turnovers. These guys don't give up the ball much.
To go off that, I guess, how far back does your staff and analysts and whatnot start preparing for how to stop a triple option?
I would say we started breaking them down last February. Started looking at them in the spring. Analysts did a great job in recruiting. In the recruiting period, we had extensive meetings on them. We had walkthroughs on them, so we've been preparing for them since the spring.
Ed, last week you were talking about questions you still had. One of them was tackling, like you were talking there. Where's the team at with that, and how do you build for that this week and solve that issue?
We work on it. We work on tackling circuit every day. Obviously, you don't tackle every day in practice. We tackle on scrimmages. Last scrimmage was only helmets. So you got to get in the first game, man. We're going to practice tackling every day this week. Got to get in the first game and see where we're at.
Hey, Coach. Can you kind of give a rundown of the offensive line and who do you expect to start at each position?
Well, Sadiq's going to start at left tackle. Left guard is going to be between Chason Hines and Adrian McGee. Our center is going to be Lloyd. Right guard is going to be Delu, and right tackle is going to be Austin. Bedora's a guy that can play guard. He can play tackle. Those guys will be interchangeable.
Coach, obviously, goal number one is to win, but just goal number two, how much do you guys want to prove to yourselves that you can go out in the field and really execute this offense for the first time?
Yeah, our guys are excited about it, and I know that our offense has been working very hard. We're looking forward to putting this spread offense on the field against a good Georgia Southern defense. I want to see our speed. We got a lot of speed. We give the receivers the ball in space, let them make plays. But we want to be 50-50 with the run game. We still want to be physical. We want to control the clock. Be interested to see how we do. I think we'll do very well.
With the exception of Kason Thomas, you've had a remarkably injury-free preseason. How much does that reflect your attitude about how much get guys to practice, hold them off? And do you have to sometimes, I know you win every argument, but do you have to sometimes tell them, son, this is not, sit down, we'll use you later?
Well, sure. Justin Jefferson, the last scrimmage, we didn't practice him. He wanted to play. And I want to see those young receivers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Leonard Fournette. We didn't play in the last scrimmage. I want to see those young running backs run the football. They kind of understood, but they missed it once we got out there. But you know what? The way our practice is structured, we have a lot of walkthroughs. A lot of times we're not hitting. Sometimes we are hitting, and we do hit. I think that Jack Marucci does a tremendous job of gauging everything. Tommy measures how hard we're working. We talk about that all the time, and it's a tribute to those guys.
You also have had, knock on wood, you read about problems, players getting in trouble everywhere else. None of that's come. You haven't had anything like that this year. How much does that reflect the attitude of this team?
I do believe the culture has changed. No, it's not all the way where we want it. In recruiting, we recruit character. We tell our team that character counts. Do the right thing, protect the team. And so far, it's been really good.
To your right. You said that the nose tackle battle is going to be pretty fluid throughout the season, but did Tyler Shelvin kind of officially take that spot, or is it still pretty?
No, it's still in our. He and Apu are listed right there. He and Apu are both starters for me, and the guy that's coming along is Joe Evans. Joe Evans has proved that he can play for LSU. He's ready to play as a freshman. He can play at nose tackle. He can play at end. We're very pleased with his play so far.
Coach, on your right, from the depth chart, I mean, it looks like you've got a chance for about 18 of your 22 starters to be juniors or seniors, and then you mix in guys like Stingley and them. How does it translate? What do you see, from a group that is veteran?
Confident, leadership. We've thrown a lot at them. Execution, discipline out there, and I expect them to play like that. These guys are raring to go, but they've done it before. They play as a cohesive team right now, but we'll see. The first game is going to tell a lot about your football team.
Coach, over here, your impressions of John Emery, 1. 2, you have a lot of tailbacks. How do you keep all those, I don't know if it's the proper term, keep all those guys healthy?
Yeah.
Or does that stuff sort it out? How do you think that works to kind of figure out what's going to go on back there during the season?
Yeah. First of all, John Emery is everything and more that we thought about in recruiting. He and Ty were the two best backs in the country, in our opinion. They're different. He can make you miss. He has tremendous feet. He has tremendous vision. He needs to get a little bit stronger in the weight room, get more comfortable in the offense. There were a lot of times in practice where he broke outside, we didn't catch him. So he had some explosive runs, very explosive runs. Tommy Robinson has done a good job with our running backs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is our starter. Leonard Fournette is going to go in there. Chris Curry is going to play, and so are the young guys. So it'll be running back by committee. But as you know, when you're playing this schedule, you're going to need all those guys. We tell them all to stay healthy and all to stay positive.
Ed, down here, your depth at corner, I mean, you saw that through the camp with Christian out for a little bit. What do you see behind them going into the year and, where they're at there?
We're really, really impressed with Cordell Flott. all of those corners, but I think Cordell Flott has separated himself. That if he would have to start for us right now, we feel comfortable putting him in. Jay Ward is a good tackler. He's very strong. Darius has had a couple of injuries, so he's not ready to go right now. But we really like those young guys. We think that it was an excellent class. Christian's going to be ready to go. Derek's going to be ready to go. And we feel like we're strong at corner.
At linebacker, you mentioned some of the battle through there with Jacob Phillips and those guys. What's that looking like? And remember you were saying that could come down to game day.
They are battling, man. It's very close between him and Patrick. And that's going to be a game-time decision. Again, I won't say this. Damone Clark has had an excellent camp. You're going to see him a lot. He's going to play a lot. I expect him to be an excellent LSU linebacker.
Playing a triple option team like Georgia Southern, how does it speak to the value of having analysts as part of your staff? And to that end, what role has Dennis Johnson played in that, since obviously he hasn't been able to coach hands-on on the field?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just talking about that this morning. I got to work about 5:30 this morning. There were about 8 coaches there already. And I get in there and do the things I need to do, and I walk down the hall. Kevin Call has a tip sheet to give to the cornerbacks. It has pictures on it about splits and certain routes and all the routes that they run. And that's just another tool for us that 2 years ago we didn't have. And that's going on all over at every position. We have Kevin Cosgrove that was a defensive coordinator at Wisconsin, who played against them. He was at New Mexico State last year, who played against these guys, and is excellent at defending an option. And those guys are in the room. We have Bill Johnson that played at Texas A&M, that played against the option. So we have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of guys that have a lot of great suggestions. And I think Dave has put it all together. He's going to have a great plan.
You talked about having a lot of the return game work in the scrimmage in the preseason game number 3. Who do you like at the kick return?
Yeah, Clyde. I think Clyde is going to do a good job for us. We have a couple of guys we would like to get in there, but Clyde is going to hold on to the football and get positive yards for us.
Coach, you talked about, triple option, that team. They don't turn the ball over very much, but, they've also won, like the last 10 games, they won the rushing battle in. So what else are they doing in those games that just gets them the edge?
Well, they run that wheel route and that rail route, and all of a sudden it's wide open. You get your safeties to pop up. You get another guy in the box, and they see it. They do a great job of calling plays. Go play action pass and throw the ball right behind your head, and there's the guy wide open. Typical option team. The thing that what happens when this quarterback gets on the edge, he's very dangerous. He can make you miss, and he'll pitch it at any time. That's where they make their big plays.
Coach, to your right, Tigers ranked number 6 this season. Last year, at the beginning of the season, they weren't ranked nearly as high, and I kind of felt like last season they loved being the underdogs, and that's how they excelled throughout the season. Yeah. So does being ranked number 6 change their mindset at all?
It better not. Better not. Block out the noise. Because none of those rankings matter to me till the season's over. That's when you look at it. That has never been mentioned by me in the meeting. There's never been mentioned by any of the coaches. That's just something that's out there that's called noise, in my opinion. We got to focus in on the task at hand. We got to be hungry. But I appreciate you complimenting the team last year. They had character. They had grit. And it was an internal motivation for everybody. And we got to have that same internal motivation to take it to the next step this year.
You mentioned the nose tackle and linebacker position. What will be the determining factors that decide that? Is it intangibles or is it game plan awareness?
I think we look at this week. It'd be easy to name a starter today, but I like to have the competition. I like to see how they're going to practice this week, how they're going to act. And then on Friday night, I'd like to talk to the coaches, what kind of week they had. So this is going to motivate those guys to have a great week, to keep competing all week. Then we'll make a decision Friday or Saturday.
One more. You mentioned the excitement about the offense. I think everybody outside of campus is very excited too, it looks like. I guess, is this as close to the offense that you talked about in the last few years that you guys have been able to be? Are you excited?
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, I do believe we have several different tempos. We are strictly spread. This is the first time LSU has been strictly spread. We have the talent to be spread offense. We can go 5 receivers at any time, 4 receivers. We're mainly going to be out of 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 3 receivers, 1 back. And Coach Ensminger has a tremendous plan. Our offensive line has to improve. We're going to be in 5-man protection a lot, get a lot of people out, throwing our backs the ball out the backfield, and still run the ball. I do believe we're going to be great because of our quarterback. Our quarterback can handle most situations. I think he's a game changer.
Coach, as a staff, you all see that Florida Miami game, all the penalties, the timeout being wasted, you know, some of the sportsmanlike stuff, and y'all look at some of the game management stuff that could be a problem in the first game and
No.
come into focus on that.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Obviously, we watch games with night off. There's a lot of learning that we do, and we teach our guys in a positive way what we're teaching them. We work on game management a bunch. We call it the winning edge. We've had about 5 or 6 of them. We go through different type of scenarios. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. We want to be a disciplined football team. We want to tackle well, want to play hard. But we did learn a lot of things from that game.
Coach, a lot of the off-season talk at tight end has been about Stephon Sullivan. But how has Thaddeus Moss really taken to the new offense, and how has he performed in it so far?
Thaddeus has had a great camp. I do believe that he and Stephon are considered starters now. Thaddeus can block. He's big and physical, catches the ball well, is very mature. He and Joe have a tremendous combination. He's made some tremendous catches. He has great hands. That's why we recruited him, because of his catching ability. Stephon is a difference maker. Obviously, he's not the biggest blocker like Thaddeus would be, but can stretch the field. We can flex him out, do a lot of things with him. And Stephon has proved to us he can make big plays in big games.
Ed, and you also changed on the defensive line to more of an aggressive nature. Does that present some issues against Georgia Southern when kind of an offense that likes to get people out of position and force you to be assignment sound? And how do you counter that?
Yeah, tackles for loss are going to be a premium for us. Sacks are going to be a premium for us, but it's hard to sack them when they don't throw the ball a lot. Now, they do have some play-action passes. They throw the football. I do believe in this game plan that we need to play assignment football. Whether it's a tackle for a loss or not is not the premium. It's who got the dive, who got the quarterback, and who got the pitch. And we got to tackle the guy when we get there. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one tackles in space that we have to make. If we don't make it, it would be a big play.
Coach, in general terms, can you just talk about that first game for you personally, just the anticipation of seeing what your team's going to be like, the anticipation of running out of the tunnel for the first time, just all that for a coach?
Yeah, well, it's about them always. I'm excited. I see how hard our staff works. I see our guys coming together. First game, is always some questions in your mind. What about this? And he talked about it, game management. You want to make sure everything's clean. I tell our guys we put 11 men on the field and we fight like tigers. So substitutions is critical. Running on and off the field, all dressed together, looking sharp, blocking, tackling, playing hard, playing like tigers.
Coach, you've obviously.
I'm sorry, John. My apologies. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ed. Coach, you've coached at a lot of great places, a lot of great players. How unusual is a Derek Stingley to come in and do what he's done in a short period of time?
He's special. He is special and great character. His dad's a coach, great mom. Doesn't say a word. Has tremendous ball skills. Has tremendous awareness. Wants to be great. Is always working on Saturday and Sunday. Nothing has been too big for him yet, and so I'm sure he's going to get challenged this year. He will. Every cornerback does, but I do believe he has a chance to be a great player. Now he hasn't done it yet, but he has a chance to do it.
Coach, you had a exceptional kicker last year. How do you feel about that position now, and who's going to be doing the kicking for you?
Cade York has had a great camp. He's kicked 2 51-yard field goals in each scrimmage. One scrimmage he was 8 out of 10. The next one he was very close to 8 out of 10, 7 out of 9. When the band played, it was a little wet on Thursday night. He missed 2 kicks, which would be a game-type situation. We believe in K, but we have to put him under the pressure and underneath the lights. But I do believe that he has a stronger leg than our kicker last year. Now, the ball gets up higher. He's very fast with his kicks. I think that this guy has a bigger upside. We need to see, though.
Hey, Coach, over here. You talked about first game substitutions. What will the tempo of this offense look like? How noticeable will it be? And what kind of tempo does Georgia Southern play with?
Yeah, our tempo will be fast. We will slow it down if we need to slow it, but we want to go fast, especially in certain situations. There'll be no huddle. I told the guys to get in the huddle the other day. They don't know what that is anymore. So Georgia Southern does use some tempo, but more or less they like to get in a line of scrimmage. They like to look what defense you're in and then call the play. So I don't expect a hurry up from them, but we will be in some hurry up, son. But hey, by the way, I saw that commercial about you, man. You was a young guy in there. You know, it's kind of cool. I like that commercial. That was a good commercial, man.
Yeah, Ed right here. Talk about your game day organization. Who's in the booth and who's on the sideline?
Yeah, Dave is on the sideline, obviously. Bill Bush will be on the sideline this year because we lost Dennis Johnson. And Dennis did a great job on the sideline. So Christian Lockershore will be singling in. Also, Bill Bush will be helping. All our defense will be on the sideline this year, and that's because of Dennis's injury. On offense, Steve and Joe will be up in the booth, and obviously Steve's calling the plays. Joe's up there making suggestions, and the rest of the guys on the sideline.
Ed, we've almost gone the entire press conference and nobody's asked about your quarterback. Does that just speak to what he brings to this year and this team?
About Joe? Yes, Joe has been stellar since he got here. He's quiet, unassuming. I know sometimes in his interviews he's not, but he is very professional when he comes to work. He's into it, wants to win, wants to get better every day. He's had an excellent camp. He thrives in this offense. This is his type of offense. He's excited to go out there and have a lot of success.
Coach, has time for 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody else have a question?
Speaking of Joe, he told us once in the preseason that he wants to block like on a reverse or something like that. Is that when he says that? Do y'all ignore him when he says that?
Yeah, I tell him he can't. But he would, man. He would. He'd go in there and be a lead blocker if you need him to.
Obviously, a team like Georgia Southern gives you a lot to prepare for. Does that take away from any kind of mention or distraction of the team you got to play in Austin next week?
No question. No question. That has not been mentioned. First game, we want to do well. We're going out there and prove what we've been doing in camp, and then all of a sudden the triple option team comes in, and all your time is just looking at the triple option. How are we going to defend it? There's been no other distractions. We're in good shape. Thank you, guys.